Greetings everybody, the tips videos are back! And today I'm going to talk about someone who, while I like their videos, they definitely need work. Mafdominus. So Mafdominus makes a variety of content, but I'm focusing on the discussion related content he makes, like in this case Mafdominus versus SML controversy. But first, let's take a look at what is, as of right now, his latest video. A wild Jeffy appears. Trust me, it's important. You see, he tries to make a 10-minute loop of Jeffy playing the saxophone. However, he loops it very poorly. Take a listen. Yeah, notice how it jumps? That's really bad. Now look at what I did in about a minute. Much better, right? This makes me realize a problem Mafdominus has. He's either not very good at editing, he doesn't have a good editing software, or a combination of the two. So let me say this again. Never ever use Movie Maker or iMovie. Also, I've heard some people ask me a couple times if they could use their phone to edit videos, cause it technically isn't Movie Maker or iMovie. And to that I must say, no! Edit on an actual computer! Phone video editing apps are about as functional as Movie Maker, and usually add a watermark to your video. Or, let's say you're super special, and you do find one that'll work just as well as some of the higher end editors, on a phone. Yeah, guess what? You're still editing on a phone with a touch screen. That's a nightmare, especially since you won't have any shortcuts or anything since you won't have a keyboard. It will easily take you much less time to learn to use an actual editing software on the computer than to try and mess about with editing videos on a phone. But oh no, editing videos on the computer looks scary and difficult! Guess what? Editing stuff isn't always the easiest thing. But guess what? Anything else you do when you start off, yeah, it's probably gonna look scary and difficult. But anyways, something else I hear as an excuse is, but I don't have a computer! So, I think that's a lie. You probably have a family computer in your house somewhere. Ask to use that, but if you really can't use that, or for some reason, your family just doesn't have one for some stupid reason, go buy an older computer for $20 or so. You can usually find them at like thrift stores or something. Usually it'll be running something like Windows 7 with a sole gigabyte or 2 of RAM with some Intel dual-core processor. Sure, it won't be the fastest thing ever, but it will work until you can get off the ground and can afford something better. Now, if you don't have $20 to get a computer like that, I think you have bigger problems to worry about. So, what program should you get? Well, since a lot of people don't like to get totally legit versions of stuff like Premiere Pro or Vegas from, certain sources, I'd instead recommend getting Hitfilm Express or Davinci Resolve. Yes, they're both free, so stop whining about it, alright? Now, back on track to the Mafdominus part of this video, let's go take a look at Mafdominus' other video. There are a couple problems here. One is the fact that he seems to leave bad takes in. Now granted, this happens to me on occasion by accident, just I don't notice it before it gets rendered. But he usually just says, and just continues on. You know, a lot. That isn't a good thing, especially for a video which should be this serious. It also seems like you didn't have much of a script, if at all, hence the rambling. So Mafdominus, go write yourself a script, and cut out bad takes. Don't just ramble on and hope it makes a decent video. Another thing is that you need to have some actual footage in the background. Yeah, you notice how I have TF2 footage playing in the background? That's to give the audience something to look at instead of a still image for several minutes. Because if that happens, viewers are more likely to click off the video because they got bored of seeing the same static image for ages and hearing you ramble on. Seriously, these are some really simple fixes. The footage doesn't even have to relate. Just put something there so that people don't get bored, alright? Now, I'm going to give you and everybody else a piece of advice. If you're going to use footage of a game, for example, Make it a game that you own so that you can record it yourself. And no, you better not go recording the TV with your camera. That looks horrible, so just don't do it. You might as well just use some other footage instead. If you want to record a PC game, here are my recommendations. If you have a modern NVIDIA graphics card, use Shadowplay to record. It's really useful, and it isn't nearly as taxing on hardware as the other option I'm going to suggest. Just remember that it does record in a variable frame rate, so most editing software won't have the audio and video sync up properly at certain points, which is why NVIDIA should add a constant frame rate option. Of course, this isn't a problem for me, because usually I don't play the audio, I just have the video up, like right now. Of course, if you can't use Shadowplay, go with OBS. It's free, and I'll be having a tutorial out within the next couple days to show you how to record gameplay through that. If you want to record console gameplay, get yourself a capture card and figure out the best way to capture through that, usually involving sending it through OBS via USB. Well, this was short. Frankly, I think Mafdominus' videos are pretty decent, but those things I just mentioned are two glaring issues that really need fixing. So Mafdominus, get to it. And request a channel checkup, link in the description to where to request those, when you want me to check up on how you're doing and make a video about it, alright? Well, thank you all for watching, and take care. New tips videos every Tuesday.